Welcome back to the Innkeeper Couple Podcast.
Hello, friends.
We're Joel and Britt. We're innkeepers at a historic bed and breakfast in northern Michigan. And we've got a really exciting episode today for you.
Yes, we have a special guest.
Yeah, so a friend of ours, her name is Heidi. She owns Pleasant View Bed and Breakfast in the Lakes region of New Hampshire. And we got to sit down and chat with her. Well, I did. Joel wasn't part of this one.
Well, we had a hot water tank burst underneath the sink. You know, we have one of those special hot water tanks that you can get like tea.
On-demand hot water.
Yeah, and it was leaking everywhere. Conveniently 10 minutes before this interview. So I chose to wrestle some pipes and Britt did an interview.
Yeah, it was great.
It was a good time.
And Joel figured it out and everyone lived.
I learned something new that day.
But
so it was a good
as
time.
you guys know, we typically start every episode with a recipe. And this time it's not my recipe. It's Heidi's recipe from her quaint bed and breakfast in New Hampshire. So we have, oh my gosh, it sounds so good. She makes gingerbread, Gingersnap mini-muffins, which sounds so good. All of the information on how to make these and all of the ingredients are going to be in our show notes as always. So I'll be trying this recipe with you guys this week, which is fun. But yeah, a big thanks to Heidi for being here for our interview and also for sharing just a special recipe from her own space today.
Thanks, Heidi. You're awesome.
All right, let's just dive right into our fun little interview here. Heidi, tell me about your business. I know we talked a little bit beforehand and you own a bed and breakfast, but you also have like a restaurant component also?
We do. Well, it's a completely separate LLC. So I own and operate Pleasant View Bed and Breakfast. I'm located in Bristol, New Hampshire. We are in the beautiful Lakes region. I'm 1 mile from Newfound Lake, which is one of the cleanest lakes in the world, or in the United States. I think we're at 5 right now as cleanest lakes.
Wow.
In itself, I have it traced back to 1832. That's the oldest deed I could find. And at that point, it had land to the lake, which I would love to have back and be queen of the estate up here. Be awesome.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So I'm down to about 10 acres right now.
Okay.
It was one of the 7 largest working farms in New Hampshire a long time ago. And then over time, the land just started getting hacked off and sold. So we're down to about 10 acres right now. It became a working bed and breakfast in 1988. Dave and Sue Appleton are the ones that turned it into a B&B. She had it for about 10 years, sold it because her husband was having issues. And then from 1998 to about 2002, it was owned by 2 different women. They only had it for like 2.5 years each. And you could tell that it wasn't taken care of. It wasn't loved. You know, there was nothing was put back into it. So I purchased it in 2004 and it was pretty much run down. And if you come now, I'll show you, I'll bore you with all the pictures, but everything in the end's been redone from top to bottom. All the rooms have been redone. Like even the dining room I'm sitting in right now, it was her common room. And it had Berber carpeting in it, and the stains were undeterminable. Oof. I tried everything in my magic to get the stains up. However, I just said, forget it. And I took a winter weekend with no guests, tore up the carpet, and laid a hardwood floor in here. And in a weekend's time, I'm like, okay, we're done. Next project.
No more.
Everything's been everything's been redone. The kitchen's been upgraded. It's a commercial kitchen now. We have a pool. We have a hot tub. And then because I don't have enough to do around here, my husband decided to add on a brew pub. So we have a separate licensed LLC brew pub on site called the Traveler's Rest Brew Pub. He brews his own beer. He has 6 right now on tap. We do 10 guest taps, and we also have a pub menu that goes with it. We're not into full entrees. We're not deep frying anything. You know, no one's getting French fries. We're not flipping burgers, but we do our own homemade soups. I make all the desserts for the brew pub. We do paninis, open face sandwiches, nachos to order, pizzas to order. And we have quite a following. A lot of locals love it. And then we're starting to pick up because now we're getting into the business season here in the Lakes region. So now we're going to get all the people with their second homes coming in. And we're just going to get even crazier as it is. Like I said, not enough. I don't have enough to do. So let's do more.
Love it. Okay, remind me again, how many bedrooms and bathrooms do you have?
Oh, I have 6 rooms, all with private baths.
Nice.
They all have queen or king beds. They have their own heating systems. They have their own ACs. I do a full breakfast each morning. 3 of the rooms across the back have private terraces off them, little seating area. Yeah, it overlooks the Appalachian Mountain Range. Mount Cardigan, if you look, is northwest of here, so you could see Cardigan Mountain. I do have policies which people don't like, but I don't do kids here under the age of 18. I learned my lesson. No pets because I have 3 dogs that roam the property, and there's no smoking anywhere on the property either. So we're pretty laid back, not pretentious at all in any way, shape, or form. And I've been in the business since 2001, so I'm going into my 25th year.
Okay, how did you get into the hospitality industry?
So years ago when I was in college, the guy I was dating at the time, who is now my husband, took me to a bed and breakfast in the northwest corner of Vermont.
Okay.
Northeast Kingdom of Vermont. I'm sorry, I was backwards. And when I walked in, we stayed at a bed and breakfast. I said, "Oh, this is what I want to do when I grow up." Well, a lot of people are still waiting for me to grow up. But I graduated from college. I worked in a state government job for 11 years. I retired at 33, and I said, okay, I'm going to buy my first bed and breakfast. And I did. Bought my first B&B in 2001. My husband moved up. He took a job up here to New Hampshire. He goes, well, here's your big promotion. So I bought my second one here in Bristol in 2004 and haven't looked back. I'm still here, being the in-wench at Pleasant View Bed and Breakfast.
Awesome. I love that. So what do you wish people knew about staying at a bed and breakfast?
I think right now there's still a miseducation to people out there. They still think it's grandma's place with doilies and dust.
Yes.
I mean, and it's true. I mean, they, and I guess a lot of people are still freaked out because we do have policies, rules, but this is my place. I own it. I'm not owned by a conglomerate. It's my business. No, this is what I do for a living. I'm not an Airbnb. People think I'm an Airbnb, and I'm not. It's not my side hustle. This is what I do for a living. So I think there's been a slight turnaround. I think people are coming back to the traditional, the hospitality first bed and breakfasts that are out there. And bed and breakfast is the second oldest profession. You know what the first one is.
You do.
You know what the first one is. And I mean, really, if you go back to biblical times, Mary and Joseph stayed at an inn. They didn't go knocking on somebody's Airbnb and say, hey, you got a room for us? The innkeeper said, no, I'm sorry, there's no room at the inn tonight. So, I mean, we've been around for a long time. And I think it's important to maintain that history going forward of innkeepers.
For sure. Yeah, I love that answer.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about owning a bed and breakfast?
Well, I'm a cook at heart, so I love to get up, and everything I do is fresh. So I'm always in the kitchen I'm in the kitchen by 6 a.m. and I do a fresh scone or muffin every time their guests in. So that's right in the oven by a 6:15. But I enjoy cooking the most. But my other sick fetish around here is I love to garden.
Ooh,
so I have a huge vegetable garden. We use a lot of the fresh vegetables, and as it's coming into season and in the plates that we do, I have a ton of perennial beds around. I'd rather be playing in the dirt any day and, planting and digging, and I love color. So everything right now is all my bulbs are coming up. My mulch is being delivered this week. So I'm getting itchy to get outside, and I know, I'm getting itchy to get outside and dig. And I can watch my grass grow now. I can see it growing every day. So I got to mow, and I like to mow. So I'm like one of those sick people.
And you guys live on property then too?
We live on property. Yep. We have our own private residence. You have to, in the state of New Hampshire, you have to live on site. You can't live a mile away. You need to be on site, and it has to be your primary residence. So
That's how Michigan is.
we're unique in that we have our own separate residence. We live right, I mean, I'm looking at my house, it's 4 feet away. So we live on site. So the guests always have access to me. They can always come to my front or back door at night if there's an issue. They all have my cell phone. So if I am off site, if I get that chance to get off site, they can call. I never go more than an hour away. But we are here, and we don't live in the inn. And I think a lot of people are fearful that we do. I'm like, nope, I don't want to know what you're doing. You don't want to know what I'm doing.
I know we have an innkeeper's quarters here, and it's underneath of our guests. We're a first apartment, and we hear all the things.
Everything.
All the things. So yeah, one day it'd be nice to have a little outbuilding, but it's not in the cards right now. But you are what we aspire to be.
Yeah, no, that was a big selling point when we moved up here from Pennsylvania. Was we were looking, and some of the other inns that we looked at, you were in the main, which was no big deal, but we had 2 dogs at the time, and I'm like, it's going to be a hassle. So it's nice. Dogs get locked down because not everybody likes dogs, and it's nice. I can have my own space. I don't have somebody, hi, what time's coffee being served?
Exactly.
Hold on, I got to brush my teeth.
Right. Yeah. Can't go out there without makeup on. I'm in my PJs.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly.
Innkeeper is so professional. 2 out of 5.
Exactly.
Oh man. So I know most innkeepers have one, but do you have like a crazy guest story that you can share with us? Like your most obnoxious guest without naming?
Am I allowed to say that out loud?
Yes, this is an open forum.
Oh, it's okay. Okay, so man. So a couple of years ago, I had a couple stay here, and they checked out. And I went, and I do everything. I'm the housekeeper too. I cook, I clean, everything. And that's fine. So I'm in their room, I'm turning it over, and my foot went under the bed, because I'm reaching to make the bed, and I kicked something. I'm like, it could be. Got down on my hands and knees, and I looked, I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. It was a pillow.
Oh my gosh.
And it wasn't small.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, oh no. So I came downstairs, I got a pair of gloves on. God, I got 2 bags, 2 brown bags. I bagged it up and I threw it away. Very unsanitary. So like 2 or 3 days later, the phone rings.
Oh my God.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Pleasant View. Hi, this is so-and-so. We stayed in room 4. I left something. And I'm like,
yeah, you did.
I said, yes, I know. I said, I threw it away. She goes, what am I going to do? My husband bought that for me. I'm like, and you're still married?
Oh my gosh. Woo. Wow.
And I told my husband, I said, don't you even think about something like that for me.
It will be returned.
Because it was huge.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. And the audacity to call back.
And that's what floored me. I'm like, I would run away to the next planet.
I'd never stay again. You would
have it. They have it.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, no, I'm writing a book. I swear when I retire, I'm writing a book called Tales of the Inn Wench because
yes.
And I'm not changing the names of anybody because they need to know they walk out.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I will be in line to buy that when it comes out.
Oh yeah. No, I'll give you a personalized signed copy of it.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow. What a story.
Oh yeah. I tons of them like that. Just people have no shame.
You get the best of people on vacation and you get the worst of people.
Yeah, exactly.
There's really no middle ground.
No, there's no happy medium at all. There's no gray area. It's black or white.
Totally. My gosh, I love it.
And when I travel, I'm very paranoid. I'm like, we're cleaning the room. We're not leaving anything.
Yeah.
I stripped the bed for them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's probably how, I mean, even in like restaurant service, like my husband was a waiter for a while. And I feel like every time we're like, okay, we're going to like clean up the table and, you know, we're going to give a good tip and all these other things. But if you aren't part of these industries, I feel like people are just like totally aloof.
Oh, no, they are. And I've often jokingly said, I said, no college. When you graduate from college, when you graduate from high school, you don't go to 4 years of college. You get 4 separate years of real life. You get a year in retail. You get a year in a restaurant working. You get a year cleaning rooms in a hotel or someplace. And then you get a year in a branch of armed service, right? All your bases are covered. Yeah. And then when they hit those 4 years, then you can say, okay, what am I going to do over there? You're either going to find a different path or you're going to join whatever branch I mean, I'm telling you.
I mean, you'd have definitely a larger respect for people in general.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice. Yep. I like it. I can get behind that. But
see, I'm telling you, put me in charge.
Oh, all right. I got one last question for you.
Okay.
You talk a lot on the podcast in general about just hospitality and what it means to just be people of welcome who invite strangers to our tables and care for them while they're in our homes. So what does hospitality mean to you?
Oh, wow. Well, hospitality to me, it needs to come from within. You have to feel it. You need to want to do this. I know quite a few innkeepers that they got into it for the wrong reason. They saw, well, we'll do it for 2 or 3 years and it'll be a quick sale. And it shows in that. You need to want to do this. You want to make people feel welcomed. You want to make them feel warm. You want to make them feel that they are part of you and your place, that you're opening the doors for them. You want them to come in and be part of you. I want to feed you. I want you to be happy. I want you to wake up to a clean, quiet room. I want you to be yourself most of the time.
Without the toys.
Without the toys.
Leave those at home.
Yeah, I mean, I want you to be relaxed when you come in here. I don't want you to feel that I don't hover. I had a review where somebody said I hovered. I'm like, that's not true. That's a fake review. I don't hover. You have to find me, and after I'm done serving you got to come looking for me. But I mean, even in your own personal home, like where we live, if we have family or friends come to visit, I want them to know that they can walk in my front door anytime.
Yeah.
And they're always going to be welcome there. I don't want you to feel that you have to come in with a shield up or wearing armor not feel safe.
Yeah.
I want people here to know that I'm watching out for them, that I'm going to protect them, and that I'm going to stand up for them. I'm not here to hurt you in any realm of the world. But I'll go back to what I said. Hospitality needs to come within. You want to do this. You want to see people happy. You want people leaving with a good feeling. And I'm in about 80% repeat guests now after 20 some years in business. So yeah, the majority of my guests this summer are all repeats. I have like maybe 3 new people so far. I'm like, great, I got to train these people.
They don't know what the regulars know.
They don't know what they're getting into. And I tease, I say, for repeat guests, I give them a discount because I want them coming back. I want them to be here with me. But I often say they come back because they love the abuse here. I mean, it's a joke.
Yeah, the homemade scones, real abuse.
Yeah, right. And the thing is that the guests, I don't know about you, but my guests tell me things I probably shouldn't know.
Wow.
And I know certain things about guests that I'm like,
Yes. The trauma dumping at breakfast is a real thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's going in my book.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That just happened to us this weekend. We had this last weekend, just 3 hours at breakfast. Just
Yeah, see? Yeah, and you're like,
I'm honored,
really?
but also
What do you want me to do with this information?
yeah. I feel like innkeepers and bartenders, I feel like we just get we have like something written across our foreheads, like tell me
tell me everything that's happened in your life. Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah.
Oh man.
And that's fine. I'm glad that they trust me enough that they're willing to share that with me. And that makes me feel good that they know that they can unload, they can tell me what's going on. And I've even gone to a couple of my previous guests' spouses' funerals. They've,
Man, that's hard.
now I don't travel across country, but some local ones, like I've gone to Massachusetts a couple times because most of my guests are from Mass. I've gone down there 3 times for funerals of spouses of guests that stayed here. And it's sad,
It is. But that's the hospitality from within that you're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. I had a couple stay here a couple years ago. They came as boyfriend and girlfriend. By the time they left, they were engaged.
Fun.
So they got engaged up here. It was just sweet. And then a year and a half later, they came back and spent a couple nights here on their honeymoon. They were doing a whole New England honeymoon. And then like 2 or 3, maybe 4 years later, they showed up and she said, she goes, we're pregnant. I'm like, oh, great. So
you love it.
She was probably 3 or 4 months along. So I went out and I got them a baby. I made a baby basket for them. And while they were out, I put it in their room, and
so cute.
It's things like that. Yeah. I mean, it's because they've been coming for years and they were like, no one's ever done that. I'm like, well, that's not why I did it. You've been great guests. You've always come back here. I wanted the best for you and your baby, and things like that. Yeah.
I love that.
I'm not doing it for 5 stars.
Somebody's going to have a 1 star. It's fine.
I know. Just put me in your will. That's all I'm asking. Put me in your will.
Go. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Heidi.
No, Brittany, thank you. Yes.
Sitting and chatting with us and, with me.
Absolutely.
The other half is out doing maintenance stuff today, but.
Well, mine went to work, so it's been quiet here today.
So, well, I love that. Just so grateful to have you.
Well, that was a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. I enjoyed listening back.
Yeah, I know,
got to listen.
Yeah, it was so fun.
It was awesome. So thanks again, Heidi.
And if you ever find yourself in New Hampshire as a listener and you need a really quaint bed and breakfast to stay at, and you're looking for somebody who will absolutely take care of you like one of her own, go check out Pleasant View Bed and Breakfast in New Hampshire. And maybe even in the fall, go see some fall colors, take some photos. I know it's on our bucket list of bed and breakfast to stay at now.
And I want to try the brewery. I want to go and try. I love microbreweries. I know. So that's when she was talking about her husband doing that. Yeah. That just sounds awesome.
I love it. I don't remember if this was in the interview or not, but we were talking, I think either before or after, a little bit on the side about New Holland and how she's been to Holland. And I think they actually had a New Holland beer on tap at one point, and she was talking about how she actually took a nod from their menu for her restaurant because she loved it so much. And I was like, oh, I miss living so close.
She did talk about doing pizzas on demand.
Yeah.
And New Holland has pizza.
That's true.
And I did see a picture on their website that they had dragon's milk.
Yes.
Which is like the staple of New Holland.
It is.
It's awesome. So
it is. They're doing great work out there. So if you need a fun place to travel this fall, go check out New Hampshire and let us know what you think.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe and follow us, rate us. Everything helps. So we love it all. And,
we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.